Leslie B. Never thought I'd be here, but here we are. I'm Leslie B, never lucky that was me. Didn't know what the future had in store. Late night TV, mysteries on repeat. Just the stories always left me wanting more. Watch the juice, couldn't look away. Unsolved mysteries almost every day. Murder she wrote, Law and Order 2. Forensic files have me stuck like glue. Netflix crimes and courtroom scenes. Somewhere in between my dreams, I felt a spark, I couldn't let go. I wanted my own true crime show. True crime in a minute, yeah, that's my style. Tell the story fast, but make it worthwhile. From my phone to a worldwide screen, justice matters, know what I mean. True crime in a minute, come take a seat, where style meets justice on every beat.
Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday night. I have not been on live in, I think, a little over a week. It's been too long. But how did y'all like the new intro? We have to give special shout out to John Smith. I had been working on a song and had been sending it to him, but he tweaked it and perfected it. So I don't think that was the whole song. No, it's not the whole song. I'm glad you like it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I spent all day working on the video of the intro. It takes more time than y'all think, but it's fun. It's kind of like doing a puzzle. It's a lot of fun. I know I saw John in the comments, but hey, Adelson Hater, you still have the best name. But yeah, sorry I had to push this back a little bit. I know we're all like, what time is it? That's not Sunday night hair. Yeah, I know, right? I had a dinner tonight with girlfriends, one of my good friends. We've been friends since we were 14. It was her birthday a few days ago, so we went to dinner tonight. So yeah, today I did my hair and makeup. Just love seeing everybody. It's so fun. This Kouri Richins trial, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I don't know about y'all. I didn't know what to expect coming into it. Like, I knew it would be good, but it's better than anything I could have expected. You hope I'm refreshed from my civic duties. Yeah, that's going to take a little bit of time. I actually did a little bit of a vlog every day, and I've made a video. It's like 25 minutes, so it's almost done. And then I thought we would go over that one night. It was interesting, but I will tell y'all, the case was like everything I've ever hoped for. I didn't know if it'd be criminal or civil, but it was criminal. It involved a confidential informant. It involved a co-defendant who pleaded, so they got to testify in shackles. It involved wiretaps and undercover footage, but it was a fentanyl deal. And I'll leave it there, but I'll tell y'all, when I got it, I was like, oh my gosh, the first time I've ever gotten a jury summons. And then I get down there and I'm looking around, there's like 40 people, and I'm knowing the jury's 12 and alternate. And when they named me, I'm like, oh yeah. So it was wild. Andrew, you said in the Kouri trial, the defense is a disaster, and we get her again for the Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I know. Do you think that'll actually go to trial? I haven't really been keeping up with that. I try to stay out of all that kind of stuff. Oh, Mia, I don't know about this one. Mia Wallace says, Leslie, believe it or not, there's actually a more prolific aider, poison, or murderer for money than Kouri, that Jesse Kurzewski case. I gotta look this up. So I found this online. It was an interview. So Kouri's attorneys did an interview with a local Utah station 4 months ago. I just thought that was really interesting because you just normally, I mean, I can't say I've ever seen attorneys do a interview before trial, but I thought we could watch that. And then I've pulled some of the testimonies every Wednesday and Thursday. Thought we could watch some. I mean, gosh, the Grossman, his testimony, I was speechless. Like it was like, is he trying to be a poet? And I don't know, it was deep. It was heavy for me. I don't know if anybody else says that. But good evening to everybody. All right, let's play this. Again, this is on local news in Utah. So I haven't watched the whole thing yet, so I thought we could watch it together.
In an unprecedented move,
we were willing to take an unusual step of coming forward.
Look, I never thought I would be sitting here.
Kouri Richins' attorneys
She is distraught. She is heartbroken.
reached out to 2 News Investigates
That's exactly why we came here. And really, it's an ethical duty.
We have a lot of confidence in you.
to set the record straight.
One thing that's been reported on that they have let go, have not corrected.
If their goal is justice, they have not lived up to it, at least in this case.
A 2 News exclusive.
And I feel that when I see these narratives come out, it becomes a game. It becomes another line. And we forget that there's somebody on the end of that. And that's a client. That's a human. That's a mother.
A Camas mom charged with murdering her husband.
The narrative is that your client is the Moscow Mule murderer. Is that accurate?
A narrative of alcohol, drugs, and greed.
There are certain things that are out there that we know right now, sitting here today, just aren't accurate.
And her attorneys say false information.
I do think the prosecution has declined to correct false information that has come out in the media. And we've waited and hoped that that would occur, and it never has.
Tonight, Richens' attorneys speak out only to 2 News Investigates.
That's a very, very different narrative.
Camas, Utah, a small town in Summit County with about 2,000 residents. Among them, Kouri and Eric Richens and their 3 boys.
Their family was so beautiful. Everything was picture perfect.
Linda King used to work with Kouri Richens at Home Depot and remembered Eric, who was a contractor coming into the store.
You could never forget his laugh. And I love that laugh so much.
Linda says she encouraged Eric to ask Kouri out after she caught his eye.
I says, go over there and check out with her, so they did. Anyway, they ended up having a date. From then on, they were like glued to each other. It was perfect, I thought.
Perfect until March 4th, 2022, when Eric was found dead inside the couple's home. Police originally ruled that there was no foul play in Eric's death from fentanyl. Then a year and 2 months later, things changed. On May 8th, 2023, Kouri was charged with her husband's murder. Prosecutors have added additional counts of financial crimes as well. As of today, Kouri's charged with aggravated murder, attempted criminal homicide, 2 counts of insurance fraud, and forgery.
Wendy Lewis, and I am lead counsel in the Kouri Richins case.
Kathy Nestor, I am one of the attorneys on the court.
So did that surprise y'all? I didn't know Wendy was the lead counsel. I thought Catherine Nestor was. But I guess it makes sense based on, well, no, they're not sitting like that.
Kouri Richins case.
Alexander Ramos, co-counsel on the Kouri Richins case.
Wendy Lewis, Kathy Nestor, and Alex Ramos took over as Richens' attorneys in May of 2024 after her previous attorney declared a conflict in the case.
What we came in here today were to focus on 4 very serious areas that have been absolutely factually reported incorrectly and that have been discussed publicly in court, in open court. I do think the prosecution has declined to correct false information that has come out in the media, And we've waited and hoped that that would occur, and it never has. And so that is why now, at this moment, at this time, we're coming forward and saying, well, then we're going to correct it. So that's where we are, and that's why we're here.
First up,
The narrative is that your client is the Moscow Mule murderer. Is that accurate? Can you confirm what the murder weapon is?
I can't confirm what the murder weapon is because the prosecution has never told us their theory. They have never said that it was given in a Moscow Mule, that fentanyl was distributed or in a Moscow Mule. During the preliminary hearing, their lead detective was on the stand, and I asked him the question, sitting here today, do you know how Kouri Richins administered fentanyl to Eric Richens? And he said, no. The prosecution has never said that it was in a Moscow Mule. That came up.
Frankly, I don't know that it really matters. I think we have seen overwhelming evidence that she got it, and somehow she got it in him. I mean, there are murderers that get tried and convicted for murder and they never find the body. So
Up because there was discussions, and I believe a statement by Ms. Richens early on, that she and her husband had drank a Moscow Mule before dinner. So that was something that was just grabbed onto. It's sexy, it's interesting, the Moscow Mule murderer, but the prosecution has never said that that is their theory of the case, not once. I still, sitting here today, don't really know how they're going to claim that Eric Richens ingested fentanyl.
Does the prosecution have an obligation to correct the record, the public record of this?
I mean, it's the prosecution's job to bring justice. That's what you do as a prosecutor. As a defense attorney, you protect your client's right. A prosecutor needs to find justice, fight for justice. And I believe by not correcting the record, by letting falsities sit out there, that's not what is happening. Now, we'll see what happens in the courtroom, but that, in our view, is something that they should have corrected.
Can you confirm then that the fentanyl was administered in the Moscow Mule, given what you just said about the lead detective O'Driscoll? He couldn't confirm it, correct?
We cannot confirm what their theory is. We believe Ms. Richens is innocent. And, we're not here to convince you or anyone else that she's innocent other than those 8 people that are in the box at the trial. Those are the people we need to convince her she's innocent. So that's not why I'm sitting here, but we do want what is accurate to be out there. A lot of it will come out at trial, but there are certain things that are out there that we know right now, sitting here today, just aren't accurate. And the Moscow Mule appears to be one of them. Now, since they have not ever said to us exactly what they think their theory is, I suppose we could be surprised at trial and they'll say, oh, it was the Moscow Mule after all. But they have never stated that in court ever, or in any pleadings or in any way.
The prosecution has painted your client as the Moscow Mule murderer. What is your opinion on that?
The Moscow Mule has never been stated in open court as being used to cause someone's death. I'm not sure where the press came up with that, but the lead detective has testified under oath that as of now, he does not know how fentanyl arrived in Mr. Richens' body. And so the press claiming that there's a murder weapon, that this was it, is just wholly fanciful. It just didn't happen, and it's not ever been said by the prosecution in this case, and it's never been in a pleading in this case, and it's just inaccurate.
Second, was Kouri in financial distress because of her real estate business? Prosecutors have said at the time of Eric Richens' death, K. Richens Realty owed hard money lenders more than $1.8 million.
Kathy, before this, was your client solvent?
So that's one of the issues we felt compelled to speak to the press about. There has been quite a bit of reporting about my client's financial situation. And the concern that we have is that the reports that have come out about her business, the solvency of her business, utterly fail to take into consideration a huge piece of property that she obtained 2 days after her husband passed away.
Wrong. I don't think so. I hope y'all all got to see the financial lady that testified. I mean, I was embarrassed for Kouri as they were going over the stuff. I'm shocked these banks kept her accounts open.
And that's removed from all of the state's calculations. So the equity in that house alone, the value of that one piece of property was enough to cover any debt that she had in her business. And we just feel that that is improper reporting, that arbitrarily cutting off what condition her business was in prior to her husband's death without taking that into consideration is misleading. Furthermore, all of the reporting that is done only focuses on what we call debt service, not the actual value of the property she held. So that's completely being kept out. So it would be like if they said, you know, Ms. Halloran, what is your net worth? And you left out your house. I mean, that's a piece of property is an asset and it has value, and that's never taken into consideration. And so we believe that that has also been misreported, and that's something we felt ethically.
Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Brian Walsh just got convicted. Was that December or January for Anna Walsh? Because he bought all those chainsaws and basically tore up her body, and she was in various dumpsters. Never found anything, but he's in for life.
Compelled to come forward and correct.
Third, life insurance.
Well, another one that's out there's false is that she took out hundreds of thousands of dollars in life insurance on him shortly before he died. That's not true. She took out one policy that came in the mail, and it was one of those mailers we all get from our credit union saying, sign here for $100,000.
You know, for these attorneys to have been whining for years about getting a change of venue, and then they did an interview 4 months prior, I think that's interesting. C. McBrew, only 8 jurors. That I heard the same thing, and I was shocked. So I guess that's a Utah thing, but I was surprised because usually in cases, especially like this, I mean, 8 you might see in a civil trial where I am, but 12 in a criminal.
Free life insurance. Sign here for yourself, sign here for your spouse. You can get $100,000 free life insurance. That was sent in. She sent that in about a month before he died, 4 or 5 weeks before he died. All the rest of his life insurance, and he had a lot of life insurance, was all taken out by him long before that. And he knew of all the life insurance policies that were out on him. And we don't know if he knew of that last one. But in terms of her taking out a life insurance policy on him, that's the only one, $100,000. So their motive, according to the state, is, oh, she took out life insurance, she was going to cash in on all this money. And again, that's not accurate. I mean, she took out an extra $100,000, which may seem like a lot to a lot of people, and it is a lot. But to this family, the other life insurance was well in excess of that last $100,000. And that amount of money for this family was not really all that much.
Does the prosecution have an ethical obligation to correct these things that are out in the narrative?
Again, I think if what they want is justice to be served, they have an obligation to do that. Of course, their real obligation is in the courtroom, and we'll just have to see what happens then.
And the final point, the Google searches regarding how much fentanyl it would take to kill someone.
There are a number of things. You talked about the Moscow Mule, which, we believe is not their theory. They've never said it was their theory. And I think the facts that come out in trial will make it very obvious that that isn't even a possibility. But one thing that's been reported on that they have let go, have not corrected, is that Ms. Richens Googled how much fentanyl does it take to kill someone. And that's been in the press, and it's been extrapolated from that she Googled that before Eric Richens' death. And that's just not the case. We've discovered through court records, through exhibits, that she Googled how much fentanyl does it take to kill someone a day or two after she was told he died of fentanyl poisoning, not before, which makes perfect sense. She doesn't know how her husband died. She's told, your husband died of fentanyl poisoning, and she's looking, well, what does this mean? How much fentanyl would someone have to take to die of fentanyl poisoning? That's a very, very different narrative than to leave it out there that, oh, the Moscow Mule murderer Googled how much fentanyl does it take to kill someone. No, that's not what happened.
One thing that's also been different in this case for the attorneys is how the prosecution is handling it.
The language that the prosecution uses in its filings, do you feel at any point that they have crossed the line?
Yes, this has been interesting. I have not seen the personal language in filings typically in court that we're seeing here. The prosecution does seem to have a very strong opinion on this case.
Hey, Jane, I'm just going to go ahead and answer this while I'm here. Have I seen you say hi on Carl this week? He used to answer my questions. I am pretty sure I saw you. I will also say he was starting his streams at like 11 and midnight. So I was not there long at all. So I don't even think he's answered mine, but he answers a lot of John.
Not just, here's the evidence. They seem to have a personal opinion, which I think is reflected in their pleadings and has been reported on, some more than others. The poppycock memo was one that got reported on, which is surprising and unusual to see language like that in legal pleadings. So we've been uncomfortable with that. I see the prosecutor's job, like I said, is to fight for justice. It's not personal. It's not personal for them, and it shouldn't be personal for us either. We're all there doing our job. We're there to protect our client's rights. We're there to make sure our client gets a fair trial. They're there to serve justice. And what they think is justice and what we think is justice is very often the opposite. But it begins to get personal sometimes, I think, when it's a case that it is high profile. There is a lot to it. They've been working on it a very long time. And, I can see that sometimes you can't help but get personal. Sometimes we can't help but feel personally upset about our clients.
I mean, how can they possibly, with all this evidence, think she didn't do it? Who texts their housekeeper 800 times?
It's hard. It's a job, but it's hard. Some prosecutors are better than others at not making it personal. It's just been my observation, and maybe I'll be proven wrong at some point in the future, but this has become quite personal for them.
So why did the defense attorneys come to 2 News Investigates? Why now? Why not just correct the record at trial?
Look, I never thought I would be sitting here. I don't think I should need to talk to the media. I really believe that I should be able to get a fair
Look how he's sitting. That cracks me up. He must be pretty tall.
trial. But the way that this case has gone, I don't think we can do that. We have to make sure that when we step in there in February, that we have leveled the playing field. And we can't just hope for that.
Is that why you came to me?
That's exactly why we came here. And really, it's an ethical duty. There's a rules of professional conduct that says if we think that there are facts out there that have been laid out in such a way that we think goes against our client's best interest, that we have a duty to come out. I think some defense attorneys do hide behind, hey, I'm just not going to speak, no comment. And I think that's fair. I do it a lot. But this is different.
Because we don't get an opportunity to argue the facts until we're in front of a jury. The judge decides the law, a jury decides the facts. And what's in the narrative right now and in the public media is facts. So we won't have that opportunity until we're at trial and the jury is sitting in the box.
Yeah, well, Bloodworth is bringing the facts. I love Bloodworth. Melissa, I agree with this. He also had Seroquel in his system, a powerful antipsychotic used for a variety of mental health conditions, also like as a sleep aid too. Of note, it was prescribed to Kouri. I'm convinced she knocked him out with it first. Yeah. I'm just trying to understand because I think if she put it in a Moscow Mule, if that was even a thing, was that an after story? Because there's no guarantee he's going to drink all 8 to 10 to 12 or whatever ounces of it. I mean, those things are cold. They're on ice. They're in a copper cup. And I know, I mean, I don't get in bed to go to sleep and drink a liquor drink.
And like I said, our concern is, can she get a fair trial when all of this is out there before we ever get an opportunity?
Yeah, this interview was 4 months ago. So I guess it was like November.
To show our side of the story and to show what we believe really happened in this case.
What do you believe happened in this case?
We believe that she's innocent.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if they did acquit her? I don't think that's happening. Okay. But I know those sisters, Eric's sisters, have got to be a nervous wreck because of the kids. Brooklyn says, have you seen the civil trial from 8 months ago? It's on YouTube. Kouri against Eric, same judge, and she lost everything. Yeah.
The rest will come out during the trial. Because like I said, it's the people in the box that we need to convince, not the viewers, not anyone else. We just want to make sure that people don't come into that trial believing things that are absolutely false. We don't want to spend the time in the trial convincing people that what they've already heard is wrong. We want to spend our time, presenting our case without having to go back and argue against what's in the media.
Is the prosecution in this case injecting a false narrative to the media?
I don't know if they're necessarily injecting it, but they're certainly not correcting it. And I think that's why we're here today, is we honestly feel that we have an ethical duty when we have a client who is facing such serious...
Rabbit. Lewis is making Jackie Fulford look brilliant. You gave me a good giggle. Thank you.
Serious charges, and there is misinformation out there, and it is not being corrected. It's a disservice to justice.
Here for today. You know what they say. You wrote, he has huge feet. You know what that means? Big socks.
With that said, then how critical should the public be with this narrative? Or is the public just taking the prosecution's statements and narratives at face value because it's the prosecution, it's the state of Utah?
I think that's part of it. I think also it's easy because of the headlines to just go along with it. And when somebody who we trust, right, the county attorneys throughout this state, the district attorneys, we trust that they're going to make the right choices when they charge. But also, it doesn't end there. It's also through the prosecution of a case. And with such a high-profile case, I think the public needs to be even more critical. Because if what's going on in this case goes on to a lesser degree in other cases that don't get the exposure, that don't have the appropriate resources, that's when our country starts to become in danger.
And if I may ask you this, I'm not sure if you will answer, but has the Summit County Attorney's Office vilified your client?
It's not their job to either vilify or create or make them insane, but it is their job to stick with the facts. And that's something that they have not done in this case, especially with how it's been portrayed in the media. If their goal is justice, they have not lived up to it, at least in this case.
Why reach out to 2 News Investigates?
I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of confidence in you, and we're hoping that you can get the word out and that...
I think this is like a desperate move of throwing spaghetti on the wall, in my opinion. Hello to everybody that's joined in. Tamara. Oh, yeah, Andrew, the lemon drops. I do think with it doing a shot, that would probably be her best bet of getting the fentanyl in there. But again, I mean, I don't know. He hardly had any alcohol in his system.
It's kind of the one pebble in a pond, right? That once you throw a pebble in and the waves spread out. And we're hoping that once we correct it in one place that's credible, that's a well-known news source, that maybe the other news sources will also start to question a little more about what they're hearing and what they're covering, just so that the importance is that the facts that are reported accurately. And we really appreciate the opportunity to come forward and correct what we think has gotten out there incorrectly.
When you hear these false narratives and you know what you believe to be the truth,
It's extremely frustrating. I think being a defense attorney, being a judge, a bailiff, it feels routine. You possibly in your job when you're doing things feel routine, but you're doing so much in your job that means something. And it's no different in the courts. We walk in, we joke around, we know everybody. At the end of the day, though, we're doing something very special in there, every single hearing, and especially when we're in trial. And what we're doing is we're upholding the Constitution. And that's a very high bar. And I feel that when I see these narratives come out, it becomes a game. It becomes another line. And we forget that there's somebody on the end of that. And that's a client. That's a human. That's a mother.
Mm.
And it does really frustrate me.
Is Kouri aware of these narratives, and how does she handle what you claim is misinformation being spread about her?
She is distraught. She is heartbroken. This has been very, very difficult for Ms. Richens. She's been in jail now for over 2 years on these charges and doesn't have an opportunity to really tell her story until we're in trial. So yes, it's been very difficult on her.
I mean, are we supposed to feel sorry for her? No. Julia, I agree. You said Kouri is going down for this. Yeah. Melissa, oh, he's stretching and vilifying law enforcement and the DA. Mm-hmm. Hey, Kate. It's always good to see you. Always appreciate your sweet comments. Yeah, that Seroquel can be for bipolar or sleep. A lot of people with dementia get it or are given Seroquel. So it's kind of can be seen as a chemical restraint from what I've seen in my business. People can get kind of what they call snowed, like just basically high. Ramos, but of all the defense attorneys now, he's probably the one that I tolerate the most other than the first day. And that was pretty funny. Hey, Audrey, it's good to see you. All right, we'll wrap this up and then we'll get to the testimonies.
I asked Summit County Attorney Margaret Olson and Chief Prosecutor Brad Bloodworth for an on-camera interview for this report. I received the following statement. We are aware of the recent filings submitted by the defense. We will address all matters related to this case through the legal process rather than in the media. Our formal response will be part of the public record next week. We ask that this comment be included in your report to ensure our position is accurately represented and the reporting remains balanced.
Well, that's nice. A DA that
I was
speaks.
not concerned that Ms. Richens was a flight risk because of her connections to the community through her business and her family.
No, I'm not watching that one. All right, so the first one I had ready for us is Kristal, the lady that set up the trust. And of course, obviously, we're not going to watch all of this, but we'll forward through. I thought she made some great points.
Ms. Bowman-Carter, if you'd step in.
Owner's disability or their death. Are buy-sell agreements, in your experience, are they common?
Yes.
If we could show the witness exhibit 4-2, please.
This lady, her name Kristal Bowman-Carter, and she did the trust, set up all that with Eric and the sister before he died. Hey, Allison.
Apologize. We'll fix that. Scott, if you
Unplug it and plug it back in, turn it on. All right, there we go. I mean, I don't know what's going on with their AV, but sorry, Ruth Ann. Ruth Ann says it only took seconds for my nephew to pass away from Fent in March 2020. They told my sister it was instant, and he didn't have nearly as much as Eric did. I'm so sorry. The trial that I was on last week was a fentanyl dealer, and it was a mistrial because most people said not guilty because it was a bunch of very young jurors.
You should be able to see this.
I can see it.
Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And what is it?
It's the C&E Stonemasonry LLC buy-sell agreement that I prepared.
Okay. I'm going to move to admit 4-2.
Ms. Lewis, Mr. Ross. Oh, Ms. Nestor.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, states 4-2 is admitted.
If we could publish this and move to Article 3, please. What's contained in Article 3 of this agreement?
Article 3 it provides what happens if one of the partners or owners of the company were to die.
And essentially, what does it say in non-lawyer speak?
Well, the mandatory cross-purchase agreement provides that if one person, if one of the partners dies, either Eric or Cody, then the decedent, the person who has died, their estate has to purchase the business interest from the surviving partner using life insurance.
And is that the life insurance was what was used in this buy-sell agreement?
Yeah, so this buy-sell agreement used 4 different $1 million life insurance policies.
Len, I see your comment, not dementia delirium. They're different. No, I know. I work with people with dementia, but they do, Seroquel is given very often to people with dementia. Off-label, whatever it may be.
Each of them had, Cody and Eric had 2 $1 million policies on the life of the other, and if one of them were to die, they had to use that money to purchase the interest in Seanie stonemasonry from the estate, so that the survivor could continue to control the company and run the company.
Is that a pretty common
Yes.
thing in buy-sell agreements?
Excuse me.
That's
Yes, it is.
Yeah, somebody's asking about the boys. So I think they're with Eric's sisters. And I heard somewhere, I don't know if it's true, I have no idea, that they get a phone call once a week with her. Again, don't know if that's true. No idea where I would have heard that.
I want to move now to talk about the second project that you did for Eric Richens. You mentioned that was an estate planning project. Was that, did that take place in October of 2020?
Yes, he came to see me. He called my office on October 5th and came to see me on October 13th, 2020.
And so what was the purpose of that meeting?
It was to update his estate plan and revoke a prior power of attorney that had been abused.
When we're talking about an estate plan, what are the main documents that come out of an estate plan?
So the basic estate plan that everyone needs is a will, a durable power of attorney, and a healthcare directive. And sometimes, most of the time in my practice, you also need a trust to avoid probate and to protect the beneficiaries of your estate plan from themselves or from others.
Okay. In preparation for that meeting with Eric Richens, did he fill out some paperwork before and during that appointment?
Yes. I have all of my clients fill out an intake worksheet, gather information about their priorities and their assets. He partially filled it out, brought it in with him to our meeting, and then we filled out the rest together as we discussed what needed to be done.
And these intake worksheets, how is that something that your firm uses with every client, or how does that work?
Yeah, either my office manager or my receptionist sends it out to everyone. It's something I can't really function without.
Okay. If we could show the witness 4-9, please. And go ahead and scroll through it so she can see the whole thing. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And what is this?
That's my estate planning work.
Lynn, did I find the younger jurors were pretrial bias? Oh, yeah. Again, I'm going to do a whole live on it. I'm just waiting. This will probably go to retrial, so I don't want to say the name of it because, but I promise I'll go into all the details, but it's kind of scary, like where our country's headed.
Sheet filled out by partially by Eric and partially by me.
Okay, I'm going to move to admit 4-9.
No objection.
4-9 is admitted.
Now, if you could take that binder in front of you and turn to tab 9. Is that the same exhibit that we're looking at in 4-9?
No.
Okay.
Tater, that's possible. I thought they had a restraining order against her for the children after she attacked their aunt. That's true. Kouri physically attacked Aunt Amy, I believe, when she was trying to get into Eric's safe. Of course, that's not allowed to get into the trial, but that wouldn't surprise me.
Which one is that?
You're having me look at
Yeah.
the healthcare directive.
Oh, I
Bad
see.
choice on jacket.
We'll come back to that one. I had it labeled wrong. Before creating Eric Richens' estate plan, did you review a premarital agreement?
I reviewed it the day before he signed his estate plan.
Okay. If we could, 4-1 is the premarital agreement. That's already been admitted. If we could publish that, please, and go to section 1. And paragraph 5. So this is the document, the premarital agreement that you reviewed. What does paragraph 1, section 5, again, the non-lawyer version, what does this say?
So what it says is that C&E Stone Masonry would remain Eric's separate property to dispose of as he wished during his life after his marriage to Kouri Richins.
And if we could go to section 2, please. What does this section of the premarital agreement deal with?
Again, it deals with Eric's separate property, that C&E Stone Masonry will remain his sole and separate property, even if they...
Welcome, Joan. Wendy Joan. We're happy you're here. Yeah, we have a good chat. I'm going to go through some of this. I'm going to go through to when the defense... Oh, wait. Did I? Oh, I went all the way up to Grossman.
Yes. All right. So when you previously said it's very unusual to not put your spouse as a trustee, if the individual was considering divorce, that wouldn't be unusual to put someone other than your spouse, would it?
No, that wouldn't be unusual.
Okay. And was there a time where you accidentally did notify Kouri of something?
Yes.
Explain that, please.
Kouri Richins, Kay Richins, and Katie Richins Benson, very similar names.
Sure.
After I spoke to Kouri on the phone, I sent an email to Katie, I thought, which actually got sent to Kouri.
Okay. And in that email, do you remember the date of that?
It was probably March 4th, the same day that I talked to, it may have been March 5th, but I think it was March 4th, 2022. Right. The same day I talked to Kouri.
And just talking about that conversation you had with Kouri, so this is less than 48 hours after her husband has died, right? Give or take.
Yes.
And your purpose of your conversation was at Katie Benson Richens' request?
No, it was the police's request.
Okay. And what you told her before she got very, very upset was the house that you live in is not yours.
I told her that she did not have title to the house.
Okay. So basically you're telling a new widow that she's also about to be homeless?
Oh, please.
No, not at all. That's ridiculous.
Okay, if it was in a trust, it was probably still going to provide the home for Kouri and the boys, but it's just basically controlled. Anybody that would go and forge their spouse's name on a POA, good for him.
Did you tell her there was any other homes provided for her by Eric waiting on her somewhere?
No, but I told her that he had that she would not be kicked out of the house, that she could continue to live there, and that he had provided for her in his estate plan.
Okay. And if I understand your previous testimony correctly, you never actually asked her, what did you know about all this before he passed, did you?
No.
Right. So you don't know whether Kouri Richins knew there was a trust before he died?
It was apparent that she didn't.
I'm sorry. Do you have any personal knowledge as to whether Kouri Richins knew before his death that there was a trust in place?
No, I have no personal knowledge of that.
Okay. I want to talk about the intake form that Ms. Shervinack went over with you. If we could please pull up 4.9. It's also been admitted, Your Honor. And if we could.
Hey, just real quick while we're on this, y'all are talking about Kouri's charges for when she assaulted Amy Richens. So this is from 2024. Kouri Richins pleaded no contest to the charge on February 14th, 2023 as part of a plea, was given 90 days to complete a thinking errors class of grief counseling until January 14th, 2024 to pay $1,100 to the court. Her attorney, Sky Lazaro, during a hearing in March, assured the judge that Richens did complete grief counseling. Kouri was charged murdering her husband and taken into custody. So I guess she pled guilty to that, but I think that's probably the least of her worries.
Scroll forward till we get to the page where he lists his assets. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. There. Your Honor, can we, can we blow this up just a little bit, that top half, so we can see it? All right, so this is the section where you ask the client to list, I guess, what they're worth, right?
Yeah, that is a summary of the assets listed on previous pages.
Okay. And Mr. Richens, it looks like, wasn't sure about stocks and bonds, life insurance, and retirement. And Smite directed you to ask Freckleton, right?
That's pretty common. Clients don't want to fill everything out. Yeah. And he knew Brian Freckleton had worked with me before on the buy-sell agreement. He said, talk to him about that stuff.
But he does say that they had $100,000 in bank and savings accounts at the time.
That's what this document says.
And $65,000 in vehicles at the time?
Well, you said they. He says he.
Okay. 65,000 in vehicles?
That's what this document says.
And 30,000 in furniture and personal items?
That's what this document says.
And $1 million in real property?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's what this document says.
And it looks like he's valuing his business, at least his share of the business, at about $3 million.
That's what this document says.
All right. And that he had some anticipated inheritance, not a ton, but some. Right?
That's what this document says.
So his best estimate of his net worth was about $4.6 million if you don't include stocks and bonds, life insurance, and retirement plans.
That's what this document says.
Right. So as long as he's alive, I believe you said that he could do whatever he wanted with any of the money that was assigned into the trust, right?
Yes.
Because it's revocable.
Yes.
So as long as he's alive, he can share any of this money that he wants with his wife.
He can make gifts to whoever he wants.
And he can share 100%, 0.5%, whatever he wants as far as his monthly income, right? With his wife.
I'm not sure what.
So nothing about a revocable trust prohibits him from, if he's making $33,000 a month, giving his wife half of that or more.
He can do whatever he wants with his property.
And if he lived to be 70, he could give her as much as he wanted until he's 70, right? No matter what the trust says.
Like I said, he can do whatever he wants with his property.
But the minute he dies, Katie Richens Benson decides how much money, if any, Kouri Richins gets, right?
The successor trustee, who happens to be Katie Richens Benson, has to follow the rules of the trust set by the grantor, who is Eric. So no, Katie can't do whatever she wants with the money. She has to follow the rules of the trust.
Totally fair, and you're right.
We're set by Eric Richens.
But she's the one who will decide from the moment he dies forward whether, if, how much Kouri gets any of Eric's money.
Yes, that's what Eric wanted.
And if, hypothetically, Kouri Richins knew about the existence of the trust, she would know that as well.
I don't know what Kouri would know from reading the trust.
But that's what the trust says in plain black and white in the paper, right?
Can you repeat what you're saying the trust says?
Yep, that
Go ahead, Ms. Sherman.
Your Honor, it calls for speculation. She does that. She can't answer as to what Kouri would know.
Sustained.
the trust, if someone had a copy of it, lays clearly out what we've just discussed, that as long as Eric's alive, he can do whatever he wants with his money. Once he dies, it's up to Katie.
Like I said already, it's not completely up to Katie. She's the trustee of the trust. She has legal title to those assets, and she has to follow the rules of the trust, which say she has to give Kouri certain income, that Kouri can come to her and ask for distributions of principal for health, education, maintenance, and support. This trust was primarily to protect the boys.
Did you ever advise Katie in her role as trustee, since you drafted the trust papers? Did you ever give her any explanation about her duties or talk to her about what she could and couldn't do?
That's attorney-client privilege.
She's your client?
She was my client after Eric's death for a period of time.
As of when was she your client?
As of Eric's death?
She's still your client?
No.
How much have you been paid by Katie Richens Benson?
I waived my fees.
You waived your fees. So you're her lawyer for free?
I'm not her lawyer anymore.
Okay. How long were you her lawyer?
I was her lawyer through, I think I formally withdrew in June. She needed a firm that had more capacity than I had with just me.
When you opened the probate, were you then responsible for any pleadings that came in and out of the probate matter? Would you have gotten copies of them?
I opened probate. I drafted the probate pleadings.
Right. So if, for example, Kouri had asked Katie after Eric's death, can you please pay the mortgage for the next year out of the trust? That request would have gone through the probate, right?
No.
Okay, so how would it have gone?
Katie was the trustee of the trust. That is not subject to probate.
Okay. So do you have any personal knowledge whether Kouri Richins ever asked Katie Richens for any distributions? Do you have any personal knowledge?
Your objection, Ms. Sherman.
Calls for hearsay. Kouri's statements to Katie.
Yeah, only if it's, so would you exclude Kouri's statements, but re-ask your question?
Without saying anything Kouri ever said, which, by the way, it sounds like you didn't communicate with Kouri anyway, but were you aware in your role as the person assisting the trustee whether any request for any money ever came to that trust in the year after Eric died from Kouri Richins?
I need you to be more specific to make sure you're not seeking hearsay. Break it down.
In writing or legally or formal request to the trustee?
What in writing or legally?
Requests for distributions to Kouri, to her boys, anything from the trust?
I have no personal knowledge of that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's clear this Nestor doesn't have a clue on trust. A lot of people will tell you now, don't even do a will, set everything up in trust. I mean, you don't have to be worth millions to have a trust, but it does keep it out of probate court. Because if you have to go to probate court for an estate, just so y'all know, it ties everything up. Like nothing can be done. So I recommend a trust.
You also mentioned that you were talking to a lawyer that you knew to be a bankruptcy lawyer, right? When he called you about Kouri shortly after the death?
I was surprised at how quickly he got in touch with me, and some of his claims about the way the property was titled. So I looked him up to see if he even knew anything about estate planning.
But you're certainly not telling this jury that he was representing Kouri in a bankruptcy, right?
No, I just was curious, so I looked him up to see that it made more sense when I found out he was a bankruptcy attorney.
Okay. But he wasn't calling you about a bankruptcy matter. He was calling you about, please give Kouri some time to grieve before anything goes on with the house.
He never called me. I mean, he called me later, but in the email, he asked, please don't move forward on the probate until she's had time to grieve.
Okay.
He didn't mention a bankruptcy.
Right.
I just want to make sure that the jury doesn't think there was a bankruptcy matter going on. There wasn't, to your knowledge, correct?
Not yet.
I have no idea.
Okay. And then you also said that you told this lawyer that Eric wished to be buried. Is that right?
That's what his will said, and I did say that in a subsequent email.
And in fact, Eric was buried, correct?
I believe so.
Right. Did you go to the funeral?
No, I didn't.
Are you still close with his sister?
No, I've never been close with his sister.
Okay, well, you were her lawyer.
That doesn't mean I'm close to her.
Oh.
It was a professional relationship.
Okay. How often did you talk to her?
When
you were her lawyer?
Yeah, Kim, that's a tough one. You asked me who's more annoying, antagonistic, and disrespectful, Nestor or DA Jackie? Donna Adelson's Jackie. I think Lewis takes the cake on it. The Jackie Fulford of Utah. I mean, when she was crossing Carmen, I thought that was awful. And she's been very rude to the judge. And then when Bloodworth says objection, she'll go, for what? So I have to think it's her.
as needed?
Daily, weekly, monthly?
I think it was daily at first.
Okay. Court's indulgence for just 1 minute, Your Honor.
Of course.
I love the look this lady's given her, like, you are so stupid.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, please send the witness back to the state.
Anything further, Ms. Sherman?
No, Your Honor.
May we release Ms. Bowman-Carter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now we're going to go over to Grossman. Bless this guy.
We'll get you sworn in.
You please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury?
Sir.
Look at Kouri. He said, what do you mean by the whole truth? And she kind of did a little giggle and a half smirk. Did y'all catch that?
Do you swear to tell the whole truth under the pains and penalties of perjury, yes or no?
I won't lie. I'll tell as much in this setting. I assume all the answers to the questions not.
Stand right there for a moment, if you don't mind. Can I invite you folks to take a walk for a moment? Please rise for the jury. Just pause for a moment.
Corey's looking him up and down.
We met in South Carolina. She was flipping a house and I answered, and a help wanted ad.
Then did you come to know her in South Carolina through helping her flip homes?
I did.
Did there come a time you moved to Utah?
Yes.
When, sir, was that?
It was just as COVID was kicking off. So 2020, I believe, or early in the year.
And why did you move to Utah?
To work with her, help her flip houses.
And when you moved to Utah, where did you stay?
Initially, I stayed at a flip that she had acquired in Heber. I had my dog with me. We do live-in flips, me and the dog. Yeah.
John Smith. This sounds like a country song waiting to be written. We lived in a flip. I had my dog with me. It's just, you know what they say, what happens if you play a country song backwards? A man gets his wife back, his dog back, his house back, his truck back.
Other than accommodations, did she pay you for your service?
We didn't have any contractual agreement. You know, she took care of me. You know, I lived for free. She gave me money.
Yeah, Ruth Ann. Kouri was in South Carolina. I don't know if she actually lived there, but she was doing a flip there. I guess she did. So yes, before she moved to Utah, and then that's where they first knew each other. And then she called him to come to Utah. And doesn't he look so much like Eric? I mean, what are the odds she gets like a redheaded guy twice?
Whenever I needed it, I just, you know, I liked her, so I'd worked for free. Not that she didn't, and you know, pay me. She did from time to time in lump sums. And
Did she also give you a truck?
yes, she bought me a truck, 2 of them. Bought me one, traded it in, got another one at one point. Didn't trade it in, gave it to her mother. Yeah.
Did, sir, there come a time when your relationship turned romantic?
Yes.
About when?
Same time, just before driving to Utah.
So right about the outset of COVID.
Right.
Scott, can I get Exhibit 3-1, please?
Does anybody else wonder if he might have partaken before this? Because he's like real cottonmouth and thirsty.
The witness has it.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's been admitted. Can we publish it? And Scott, can you zoom in on the top portion? Thank you. Mr. Grossman, do you recognize that document before you?
I mean, I know what it's alluding to. I know of it. Yes, sir.
And did you know about a trip planned to the secret St. Martin's resort?
Yes.
So I want to take a look at the passenger name line. There's some initials there. RG with a birth date of 9 December 1982 and a gender of male. So are those your initials?
Yes.
Is that your birthday?
Yes.
Perhaps obviously.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. Did you and Kouri Richins at some point plan to go on this trip?
Yeah. She. I think that was a birthday present. I remember seeing a text or something. She sent it to me. We didn't discuss it much, but it was there.
Thank you, Scott. During that time that you were romantically involved with Miss Richens, did you love her?
Yes.
During that time, did you feel that she loved you?
Yeah. I have a tendency of going head over heels, though, probably more than most. So, you know, I think she did.
Did you exchange text messages with Kouri Richins?
Yes.
From the time you moved to Utah, about how often?
Daily, unless she was mad at me or vice versa.
What topics on those messages did you discuss?
Same thing you would discuss with your best friend, plus house flipping stuff. Life.
you discuss her children?
Yes.
Sir, I'm going to show you now some text messages between you and Ms. Richens.
Okay.
They're the same ones I believe we've looked at before. I'm going to ask you if you've recognized them. If you can recognize them right away, that's fine. If you would like me to scroll down through them again, I'm happy to do that, okay?
Okay.
Scott, can I get exhibit 2-13 Delta, please?
Okay, so everybody's consensus is that he was just very nervous. It's just sad. Yeah, PTSD. True.
Can you just kind of scroll through the whole string?
When do the hush puppies come in? Is that in the text messages, I guess? I think it's in the text because they don't read the text out loud. But I'll read them.
So that's in there. Yeah.
Those are pretty small. If you need people to zoom
Yeah.
in, you can ask, sir.
Is that good enough for you to identify them, or do you want to zoom in and step through them?
I mean, if you could zoom in a hair,
Yeah.
that wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
Was I supposed to be reading them at that clip?
No, I just,
right there?
what I'm going to ask
Okay.
you, the
I got
question for you, sir, is do you recognize this as a text exchange that you had with Ms. Richens?
I got you. And I do for this one.
Okay. Then the state moves to admit 2-13D.
I haven't seen that.
Could
count.
you just, Scott, could you just scroll down and let me take
Hey,
a look
Murder.
at everything that's in there real quick? Keep going. Okay. All right.
Wendy's in to take charge.
Okay.
I'll have to check out Loophole Lawyer's video.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at one point when he walks off the stand, or I think it's when he takes the break, she puts on lip gloss. Kouri does.
Okay.
I want to know everything about you. And then this was Kouri texting Josh. Something specific spiked this, though. There's something you want to know that I didn't tell you. Can you tell me what it was? I know you're busy. She doesn't know the difference between your and your, like YOU apostrophe RE. Tired, sore fingers, not wanting to text me because a call would be better in person, but I will be up all night wondering, babe, worrying, feeling horrible. I would greatly appreciate you telling me. If not, that's okay. Not tonight. Hmm. Can't text it. This texting shit sucks. Several things. If you lived one day with my phone, you would get it. Not mad at you. Know that. It's this phone. These cuts. Too time consuming. I have 2 hours of driving soon. I have to get off this job. I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's draining to love you. My heart is burning with sadness. I've read that like it popped out of my chest and someone is stomping on it. She is just awful. I'm sorry. I'm draining to love. I knew this would come one day. Just was hoping it wasn't today or anytime soon because I love you. I love talking to you, being with you, laughing, joking, venting, and being overly happy with news I got today. The sense of never feeling judged with you. Blah, blah, blah. What a damn selfish person I am. How could I think someone like you would be okay with this for the rest of until I pull my head out of my ass? How selfish not to step away and let you just live your life without the constant wonder. Your love is draining. I'm sorry, babe. You're right. It has to be exhausting. And how dare me be okay with that? I'm sorry you have to work so late. I shouldn't have kept you so late this morning. Again, selfish. Wow, I just am so sorry. I am just realizing this. I feel like an idiot. Don't text back. I mean, she was just playing him. She writes, I'm married and you meet our relationship. I don't know what else to call it. I'm in love with a man that's not my husband. He says, it's draining to love you. You threw the last half of the sentence away. You changed the meaning of the sentence by deleting some of it and then used your new sentence as an epiphany and a reason to profess your love. Triangle of Eric and end it sooner with me. That's what I gathered. Chopped liver over here. Oh my God, this is cringy. She says, I threw the last half of the sentence off because it's almost as bad as the first pretend to be an idiot. I took that as, are we ever going to address the elephant in the room and recognize what's really going on here, the bigger picture? Profess my love for Eric? What? That's not what I'm saying either. You took love triangle and changed it around to professing my love for Eric. That's not at all what I was doing. I'm telling you, I'm in love with a man that's not my husband. That's 3 people. Want to make a circle with 3 people? You just didn't. The exact thing I did. Assumed and misinterpreted a text. He says, if you think you love me now, then ending it sooner will be good for one reason only. Because if you don't, you're going to fall in love with me in ways you never thought you could. That is guarantee. Speaking of guarantee, last night, and by no means counts as your guarantee. I don't even know what that means. Did it on purpose. You will never be chopped liver to me. That's what Kouri says. Guarantee for the 3rd. Maybe that'll be more of a date to remember. This must have been about the Midway house, maybe. I know your fingers hurt. I know you're working. I can try and get away tomorrow for a phone call. I think we're going to need it. If you're going to be mad at me, you need to come see me and do it in person. If you're going to say goodbye forever because that's what you want, do it in person. Or better yet, just love me. Love me like you have no choice in the matter. I want to be my best for you. Can y'all imagine if your texts were public? That's what I'm saying, Kouri says. What if that's in a year? You're just supposed to sit around and wait for me? No, I would never ask you to. I'll take it back to 7 a.m. or 9. I'm trying to get to the... Oh my God. He does a Kouri. I love you. K, kind. O, outgoing. U, unique. R, romantic. I, inches away from signing her divorce papers and falling madly in love with her soulmate. Good night, Lima Bean. Oh my gosh. And she writes, good night, Pete Pod. Get some rest. This one was interesting. When I was little, I grew up scrubbing other people's toilets in Park City at rich people's houses after school. Christmas breaks all summer, I worked for my aunt's company. I was always looked down on. I always said to myself and my aunt, one day I'll own properties in Park City, like all these rich, snooty people, and I'll never be like them. Tomorrow, I close on 3 properties, all in the same day, 2 being in Park City. That's a huge deal to me. Biggest accomplishment to date career-wise. It's never been about money. It's about being able to have properties in Park City, and you're not better than anyone. Yeah. Motive. Did this make y'all cringe as much as it did me? This little picture he sent her. It was like, it says you and me, and it's a little like drawing. It's like when we were in school and you would pass a note saying, check the box if you like me.
Sir, is that an accurate depiction of a January 9th, 2022 text exchange between you and Kouri Richins?
I mean, I think so. I didn't necessarily recognize some of it. I saw the word dope sick in there. That doesn't, I don't know that that's, can you scroll back up to that one? That just doesn't seem like a topic of conversation of ours, but, or it doesn't seem like a word I recall.
Other than that word, does it appear to be an accurate depiction?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's a TV show. Yeah.
Your Honor, the state moves 2-18D into evidence.
No objection.
States 2-18D is admitted.
So Kouri was watching the show Dope Sick.
There you go.
Oh, she asked him, random question. Have you ever done anything besides smoke weed, drug-wise? Yeah, pretty random. We've already had this talk. She says, no, we haven't. I would have remembered. I'm just curious. Is this before the hush puppies? Yeah, we have more than once. The first time was at Chili's. Me, you, and Ronnie. That's her brother. We've done other things, not all of them, not often. And you, Audrey, so true. Psychopath can't love. It's not a big deal. I was just wondering. I'm starting the new series Dope Sick tonight that just came out a few months ago. That's what made me wonder. Nope, not me. Are you sure prescriptions count? I'm here for today, yeah. Like years ago. She says the prescriptions count when I had Weston. I have a cabinet full of all sorts of prescriptions, but not my thing. Right. He says cabinet full and not my thing isn't an answer. He asked her, what's for dinner? No prescription since I had Weston, and even then I wouldn't take them, so I stored them in my cabinet. Just pain pills. I feel like she's doing this on purpose to build this. They are still there. Pills and drugs are not my thing. He says she says steak, mashed potatoes, mixed vegetables. No, my VA prescriptions. Feel like I took someone else's at some point. Just can't remember who or what. Too much alcohol. Not sure. Looking for ideas. Had Mickey D's earlier. Yours sounds good. Grill, boil, bake. Oh my God. Sure would like to see you be soon.
Thank you, Scott. Can I get 2-27 Delta, please?
I love you. Want to be my Valentine? That's what she sent. I love you. I can take a no. That's okay. Wait, what is this? My heart is smiling when those 3 words come from you. It's very unique. reminds me that I am secretly the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Gives me immense amounts of appreciation, gratitude, and honor. I wouldn't trade your love in for a million. You name it, whatever is next best. Darling, you better believe that I'll be one of your Valentines. Will you be my Valentine tonight? I was writing this on the way to Salt Lake. I know you feel the need to apologize, but just so you know, I like to see you on phone calls. I like to watch you text and to hear you read aloud. I see beauty, intelligence, quick wit, cuteness, and authenticity. Oof.
Appreciate you, man.
I mean, he is about to have a meltdown. Poor guy. Yeah, Kouri doesn't know grammar. Yeah, I think Josh thought she was divorcing Eric too.
Okay.
It's interesting what Mia and Ruthann saw on the receipt for the vacation where it said the total price was $4,000. In the top right corner, she had only paid $218 and the rest was due at the end of March. How convenient. You know, nowadays you can get easy masters online. I mean, I know some real idiots with these masters. I'm not saying that all of them are bad online, but it's not what it once was, in my opinion. Yeah, master's degree in HR. I don't know here for today. I haven't read either one of the books. How does Harry know my name to correlate the conversation? I know you talked about it, but I didn't think it would be anything. This is just like talking about real estate stuff. He cares about his business, about Harry. I'm in love with you. I hope that's okay. I can't listen to him. What did she say? Like, actually in love? He said, yes, in love with you. He has her saved as K Babe. Yeah, she did have a ghostwriter for that book. That's what I've heard. Yeah, that's right. Supposedly she got the master's with 3 little kids. It had to be online. Hey, Michelle, welcome.
Scott, can you please bring up 2-31D?
Email only, please. Keller Williams agents are hard to work for because their brokers doesn't allow them to decrease their commission, and we only want to pay 1%. Thank you for the energy and time you put into this. I really appreciate you. Babe, I miss you. I want you today, every day, not just sexually, but physically, mentally, every day when I wake up. Yeah. Sorry, phone died. Customer talk. IRA short-term, long-term stager. I don't wait. You better believe I'm going to address your next text in a bit. I don't even know what he's saying there. Y'all are saying Josh is the Jeff Lacoste. She says, you're so sweet. Please don't repeat that to anyone. I love you. I always appreciate your sweet, kind words. I hope you know I think you're one incredible man. Not sure what I would do without you. Yeah. And this is sad. He's like having, I think he loved her, but he also knows what she did. Hey, Maya. It's so good to see you. I know, Tater, the texts are awful. I know, Tamara. She says, "I just wanted to say I love you. Good night." I don't know if it was love or infatuation. Yeah, lovesick teenagers.
So would you like to take a break?
Mr. Grossman, level with me. Do you need a minute or two?
I don't know what I need.
Let's just start with that. Why don't we take pause for a moment, if you don't mind. Let's take a 5-minute break, please. Please rise for the jury.
He almost falls down the stairs here, too. That's right, Michelle. Eric's business partner's wife did say that about the master's degree, but I have heard it about it. HR. Yeah.
Please have a seat. Mr. Grossman.
Yes.
Murder, you've been training your own.
Take a few minutes. Collect yourself. You're welcome to walk around the lobby. You are welcome to use the restroom. Do not speak to anyone. All right?
Nobody in here.
Nobody in here.
Can't talk to anyone.
I'm going to ask everybody that's in here to just sit tight.
I love that the judge did this. Like, nobody can go out. Just let Josh go.
For 5 minutes, so we don't have any ambiguity about whether anybody is interacting with Mr. Grossman while he just takes a short break. Feel free to stretch your legs. There are going to be more questions. I just need you to be present, able to listen.
All right.
It's fine. Take 5 minutes. Don't talk to anybody. Okay?
Okay.
You go stretch your legs for a second.
I feel like I got something I want to say.
Yeah, but you're going to.
I feel like I got something I want to say. Like, I think he just wants to blurt it out. Lynn, you said a lady named Kat with master's in writing did an analysis on Kouri's book, said she wrote it and she can't use periods and question marks correctly.
Have to wait and just answer questions that are asked, okay?
Okay, I'm ready though.
You sure? You sure you don't want to stretch your legs?
It ain't the legs that
All right.
need to stretch.
It ain't the legs that need to stretch.
I mean,
What do y'all think that means?
I sit here
I'd like to hear your comments.
for a minute. Just
cool
answer
with
an
that.
email and take a deep breath,
I'm
okay?
cool with that.
All right.
Poor guy. Extra back. Get it. We're starting over. When is the hush puppy text? That's what I'm looking for. Phone died. I stopped at Domino's. What time does the convoy roll out in the morning? Where will y'all stay? What's the most important good accomplishment or news of the day? Ditto bad. Any random ideas or thoughts? I think this was before she was going out of town. She seemed to live a pretty good life. Not good enough for her. I would love to show you Midway. It's insane. Crazy, crazy place. Not sure on CA yet. Her title work is a mess. I'm working through it. We extended closing until the 4th. Know that I love you. Okay. Well, I'm super sad I didn't get to see you today, that I'm not your whatever you want now. Looking forward to our time. Good job, Core. I love your name, babe. Can you lean on private money for that? Oh, poor guy.
Scott, can we get 2-36D, please?
Fire department was so fun. Just got this text from Matt. I could have cried. I'll call you today. Funding. This is the Midway house. Sierra West funding of 2.5 million, loan amount of 2.625. Oh, funding of 2.5, loan 2.625. ATM, Michael Burns, funding of 400,000, loan amount of 420. That will get you 100% finance on the purchase. Then you decide if you want to use any other monies you've already raised for closing costs. Maybe you won't end up needing those. So how was she going to renovate that house or finish it, the construction? Because that's what I don't get. Josh, I'm an hour away. I just decided I'm not going today. He can keep his late fee. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. I know you miss Panda, and to me, you're worth millions a year. I'm honored to be your friend, best friend, actually, lover, go to. Do y'all think they were just like having sex in these construction sites? I mean, okay, this is a long one. This is from him. Love, affection. I don't want to keep the Mylar balloons in their packaging and Scotch tape those sad flat things to the ceiling. I want to blow them up with helium and watch them fly off into the sunset. And ideally right before bedtime at sunrise as well. I don't want to keep the barcode stickers on the wine glasses or not pop the top on the bottle of champagne because you're going to be speeding without a seatbelt down a winding. Already ran off a cliff there before Mountain Road in just a bit. I don't want Interstellar to consist of 90% of our visit. God, these people, this is craziness. Wait, he says he's devastated.
The the text exchange is 2-39D1, the associated GIF as
I feel like he was kind of a sex slave to her. Free labor.
2-39D2.
No objection, but could we clarify the gift was sent on March 3rd? Those texts cover both March 3rd and March 4th.
The GIF was sent, it's in the text. It was sent at 7:22
Oh, yeah.
p.m.
I'm
March
real
the 3rd,
southern.
2022.
Okay. 2-39D1 and D2 are admitted. What order would you like to publish things in?
Your Honor,
Hey, if y'all are new here, I would love it if you subscribed and press the like button, please. Thank you.
please publish D1 and then we'll publish D2 at the end.
Okay. Scott, let me know when you're ready.
Went to Harbor Freight. I'm going to pick up a couple of Fuegos and go get busy. Not my preferred kind of busy. That place sure does look cool. It's definitely pretty there. Soon enough, though, it's going to be breathtakingly beautiful and the most stunning space on the planet. Can't believe it. Do you speak any French? Why French? Where's that coming from? Oh, man. Lots of Frenchies over there, the main language, I think. No, it's English, goofball.
Oh, sorry, no objection.
2-51D is admitted.
I love you, she says. Oh, yeah, she's texting him. The autopsy report isn't done yet, but the toxicology report came back and he had a trace of fentanyl in his system. I didn't even know what the hell that was until they showed up at my door. My attorneys are fighting it because they detained me. No reading me rights, WRITES. Oh my God. They ever told me that they were at my house and what the hell they were looking for. I was like, WTF. They had a search warrant and everything. This is so effing ridiculous. And all that drug dogs and everything. And they didn't find a damn thing but Eric's weed gummies. Congratulations, idiots. That's funny because that's kind of the meme that she sent when they took Eric's body out of the house. It said, idiots, idiots everywhere. They were so disappointed. My attorney said in order to get a search warrant, they would have had some kind of proof of a crime that was committed, whether it's drugs being sold in and out of my house or me having to have something to do with this shit. I don't know. Even though what the F that is. I thought it was cocaine. The detective isn't corrected me. They took all electronics, even my kids' stuff. Yeah.
Lots of things in every normal life, you know. And I think that's what she did. She asked me, go ahead. I'll let you ask. I know you.
Sure.
But
Did she ask you a question about killing?
she did ask me yeah.
What's her did she ask?
She asked if I had ever killed anybody.
Mm.
And was that specific to killed anybody while serving in Iraq?
Right.
Did you respond?
I did.
Did she ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
Sir, what was that follow-up question?
She asked me how it made me feel or something along those lines. And then I answered her. I took it as not out of the normal, though, really.
Hey, forensic.
Did you and Kouri Richins stay romantically involved after Eric Richens' death?
Yes.
For how long?
You'd have to look at my phones to tell me that. I'm going to guess, bless you, 6 months,
I love
maybe 8, 10. Best guess.
Well, we also know Kouri was studying for the LSAT when she was in jail when they found the walk the dog letter that was in the book, which, by the way, a lot of people are expecting that should come in maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. It's going to be a good one.
And what happened?
I don't know. Just had a falling out, disagreements. I think, you know, things changed after Eric passed. I mean,
I'm gonna
In South Carolina, correct?
yes.
And she was flipping a house or more than one house there.
One at that time.
And she hired you to do some work on it, correct? Was that in response to an ad?
Mm-hmm.
She hired you?
Yeah, IKEA furniture is what it originated as. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you knew each other for quite a few years before your relationship turned romantic, fair?
Yes.
And you weren't in contact that entire period of time from, was it about 2017 you met or earlier?
No, it was earlier than that. I'm no good with dates.
That's okay, but earlier than 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And then you weren't in constant contact between 2017 and 2000 when you became romantically involved.
No. I think we had maybe 2 or 3 years we didn't speak.
All right.
I'm guessing here.
That's fine. So in 2020, you decided to move out to Utah, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And one of the reasons you moved to Utah was because you were going to work on some houses with Kouri, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
And you were interested in.
Okay, is this where we're starting?
Then, I mean, I don't know, maybe you did briefly, but if you did,
I'm trying to.
Yes.
And at one point, she tells you, and Katie will pull up the text, you can see it, that she has a whole cabinet full of all sorts of prescriptions, but it's not her thing, correct?
Correct.
And then can you get the painful one? And then she also tells you,
Forensic.
we'll pull up the text.
Maybe his tongue needed to stretch. It's hysterical.
That when she had her
Cat
last
rag.
child, that she had a bunch of pain pills and they were still in the cupboard. She just hadn't even taken them, correct?
Yeah, when he said he has something he wants to say, maybe he does just want to say, she told me. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yes.
Okay. But you guys talk back and forth about drug use, and Is it fair to say,
Popping
and it's
his
just a
knuckles.
yes or no question, that you have on and off used illicit drugs? Fair?
Fair.
All right. Okay, let's move to State Exhibit 227D. And pull that up so Mr. Grossman can see the date. Is this page 2?
Yes.
Very excited about this property.
Yes.
And she says that she wants to get together with you on Friday to celebrate this closing, right?
Right.
And what was your plan on Friday to get together to celebrate?
We were supposed to. We were supposed to meet sometime mid-morning for brunch.
Really?
Brunch and mimosas was the plan.
Okay. Can we pull up States 238-D? We go to the one where it says hang in there. Are you talking about the property, or are you talking about something else? The Midway Mansion? Or do you remember?
What was the text previous, please?
It was from you. It just says, I hope I get to see it. Do you know if you were referring to the mansion?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
You'd have to go up another text.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's keep going. That's fine. I mean, if you don't remember for sure, I get that. Let's keep going. You can see that.
Kouri's breathing deeply.
Okay, maybe this helps put it in context because her response is the possibilities are so endless with that place.
Oh, Kouri, it's going to be a piece
And I would run to
of
love it as a
cake
business. I skipped a little, but
the mortgage.
that's the gist.
right.
Does that,
Never for a moment did I have a clue, a hint, not a fleeting thought that something intentionally might have happened to him, right?
right?
Let alone from her. So, I think we'd gone a year without speaking at that point, and I don't know if I turned on the truck radio and heard she wrote a book and wasn't surprised, but then I started. I listened to the interview she gave about her book, and then maybe I did some research on my phone and saw that she had just been arrested, or either she just got arrested. I don't know, days later, a week later.
Okay. And then do you recall who you met with when you talked about this conversation?
After I found that out, I was overwhelmed with, guilt, sorrow over my wrongdoings, infidelity. And, and that's when I called. I was trying to get a hold of Eric's sister to tell her I don't think she was home. I spoke with her husband instead. Told him what I told him, and he told me, I forget the guy's name, but he said, I think there's somebody that would like to talk to you. And it was the Richens family private investigator.
Mm-hmm.
I think I called him immediately after I hung up, spoke with him. I don't recall the ins and outs of the conversation, but he told me that Kouri had done it, that she was guilty. He couldn't tell me why, but she and that changed everything for me,
I love that the defense attorneys get these people to say all
blown
this
away and
stuff on the stand. It's absolutely mind blowing to me. And Klatt, I want to make sure I say it right. Severdeen. Did y'all see the bail hearing? It's from 2 years ago. Kouri literally laughed when the sister-in-law claimed that Kouri didn't actually give CPR to Eric. She had to hide her face and pretended to cry. Wow. It doesn't surprise me. Just want to see if there's anything good in this run. This is Thursday, day 9.
She borrowed money from to
Oh.
get the house.
And how
If y'all haven't seen this one, you really do need to watch it. We're not going to watch it tonight, but this is the girl that Kouri took the $45,000 from and basically sold this house out from under her. The lady thought she owned the house, but she didn't. I mean, she just looks so devastated to me. Oh, they're just showing the text.
I just want you
Okay, let's play this. So,
To those
lucky for us, Kouri recorded all her phone calls herself.
Yeah. Well, no, I want to talk to you when you're free, not when you're at work.
So this is Kouri on the phone with Bryce, who was friends with Eric, and she's on speaker, and Chelsea's there.
I got 30 minutes for the next flight.
Okay. I gotta talk to you. I gotta get shit off my chest.
Okay.
Ugh.
You okay?
I'm good.
So, you know that I'm obviously in a lawsuit with the Richens.
You are?
Yes.
I did not know that.
I just want to tell you what's going on. But I also want to back up a couple steps, and I want to tell you that I understand that your loyalty is 100% to the Richens. Like you've known them longer, and I get that, and that's fine. And I just, if our friendship ends here, I get that too. And I mean, I get it, Bryce. Like I just get it, and it sucks, but it is what it is. And I just want to get everything out on the table right now so that, but basically, you know about Eric's trust. It's no surprise.
Yeah.
Bryce, I don't care about money. It's not a big fucking deal to me. All the money, Eric has almost, $3 million in life insurance money. I want it all to go into the trust to my kids. I don't want any of it, Bryce. Like, I don't care about money.
Sure.
This house is my house, Bryce.
Right.
But, I mean, when I make money, like, I work hard for my money, Bryce. Like, I do. I don't make Eric money. I have put $80,000 towards our mortgage in the last year. I paid $60,000 in cash of my money towards that pool. Like, this is my house, and I'm going to fight for it. I just want you to know. And whether I have to fight the girls about it, I'm going to. They can have half of C&E. They can have all the life insurance money. They can have anything they want.
Hey, guess what, Kouri? It's all been already spelled out by Eric before he died, and you don't get to go change it.
Take it, but they can't have my house, Bryce.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know everything, right? I know what Eric was doing for a long time, right? I mean, I don't judge you. Eric doesn't judge you. Eric doesn't judge me and the mistakes that I made, right?
But
I know that.
Bryce, I mean, I'm just going to be up. Yeah, I took $250,000 off of our house.
Yeah.
Do you know how much in real estate we own today because I did that? $11 million worth of.
I don't think Kouri understands that you really don't own it when the mortgage companies own it. You might be indebted on those, but you don't own it, babe.
Real estate. Do you know why I did that, Bryce? Because Eric would never let me work. Eric never trusted me in
100%.
believing me. No, but I want you to know that. Would you do it? Would you take $250,000 to make $11 million?
Well, that's tricky, right? Like, The communication was the big thing for Eric, right?
He told me no, Bryce. I believed in myself. He told me no, but I knew I could do it because I know what I can do. Bryce, I wouldn't do something that I didn't know that I knew I could do. I'm not fucking stupid. Bryce, I own 12 properties that are almost all paid off.
God, can you imagine that financial lady? What was it, Carrington? Is that her name? She had testified a few days prior. I mean, I bet you Kouri wanted to sink in her chair. Rabbit says Kouri's total liability in the mansion, including all penalties and fees, $3.8 million. She finally sold it for $3.4 million. Wow.
Including my own house that I've almost paid off.
Yeah.
Like, I own multiple houses in Park City, in Mill Creek, in Saratoga Springs, in Heber, in Midway, all because I did that. And they all go to my kids. $11 million of real estate property because I took $250,000, Bryce. He just never gave me a fucking chance. He never gave me a chance because he didn't believe in me. And he can say whatever he wanted. He can say I stole from him. He can say whatever. But at the end of the day, that $250,000 Bryce was paid off in 7 months and turned into $11 million in 2 years. And now somebody's going to come in and take my fucking house from me? It's not going to happen.
I didn't think they were going to take the house. They're taking the house?
Yes, they're taking my fucking house, Bryce. This is my goddamn house. This is my fucking house.
I thought the house was going to stay with you no matter what.
No. The house.
She's so full of it. She was still going to live in it with the boys. She just couldn't sell it and couldn't mortgage it.
Goes to the trust's name, which goes to Katie. She has the right to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
She has the right to remodel it. She has the right to do whatever. I have no rights to the house, so to speak, of the trust.
Eric he did everything for you and for those kids, right? And when all that shit went down between you and Eric over, the power of attorney and taking the money and whatever, that's what changed it for him, right? So he was like, Brian, I'm not here anymore. I need to make sure my kids are protected, right?
I get it.
And they're just protected.
I get it.
So I said I knew she was going to get ugly, right? And I'm neutral here. But if you can just take my word for it, I knew.
Bryce, I'm scared to take your word for it. I'm terrified to take your word.
No, I'm not on anybody's side. I'm more on your side than Katie and Amy's side, only because even though Eric and you were not getting along, Brooke and I don't get along. That's part of being a marriage, right? But Eric would always say that you were his wife, you were the mother of his children, and he loved you, right? And so he would do anything for you and those three boys.
Her voice
and I know he
is
set
awful.
things up with the lawyers and all that bullshit, right? And that was more for how the
Karen, that's true. This sounds like Lori Vallow. You're right. Yeah, she's so whiny.
protect his three kids. But I know if Eric was still here today, he would say, no bullshit. I need Kouri to be protected. But unfortunately, he didn't set her up that way. And honestly, I don't even know how he set it. I don't even know. The only thing I know,
so many mean things. So many mean things in it, and I don't care.
It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that.
And they can have the money, Bryce. I can make more money. I can take care of my kids. I just want my house. I just want my house and my stuff in my house that me and Eric bought. I just want my house. They can have all the money. They can have all the money.
Did you tell him that?
I can't talk to him. I tried to tell him that, Bryce.
That sounds so fake, because if she was really crying, it would be like, snotty and.
Hey, Bryce, this is Chelse. Hey. So Kouri has told them, or they're going through like attorney to attorney. It's never been like face to face.
Welcome.
Do you want me to tell them?
Yeah,
Okay. So Kouri has told them that they can take all the life insurance, whatever they have in their name, what Eric left to them, but Kouri just wants her house, which is like a $3 million to $7 million difference. Well, they won't agree to anything until they get the autopsy because they think that Kouri had a part in Eric's death. As in Amy and Katie. They probably not Katie as much as Amy. They think that Kouri has a part in Eric's death.
A little far-fetched. I don't think Kouri's going to do that, but
What?
I think that's a little far-fetched. I don't think Kouri's
Well, I mean, that's kind of where we're at now. And she just got this call yesterday. And I'm up here just because she asked me to come up because she's kind of broken right now and she doesn't know what to do. And I mean, that's kind of where they're at, where they said they don't want to agree to anything until they get the autopsy back to reassure them that Kouri had no part in Eric's death. So that's kind of where Kouri's like, like how, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, this is all just fucking crazy.
I don't. My conversation with Eric, right, were the thing that he did. I mean, was all of this. They were all the detective kids' stories.
No, and I mean, everyone totally understands that. Like, I think everyone understands that. Everyone knows.
I mean, I'm not going to play the rest of that, but how stupid do you think that Bryce feels now? Can you imagine? Okay. I want to share the song that John perfected. And he made, look at this cute picture he made. It says Leslie B, True Crime in a Minute. Isn't this cute? So I just thought we'd play this for a second. So if you don't like AI music, you might want to mute it for a memento.
Yeah. It's Leslie B. Never thought I'd be here, but here we are. I'm Leslie B. Never lucky, that was me. Didn't know what the future had in store. Late night TV, mysteries on repeat. Just the stories always left me wanting more. Watch the juice, couldn't look away. Unsolved mysteries almost every day. Murder, she wrote, Law and Order 2. Forensic files have me stuck like glue. Netflix crimes and courtroom scenes. Somewhere in between my dreams, I felt a spark, I couldn't let go. I wanted my own true crime show. True crime in a minute, yeah, that's my style. Tell the story fast, but make it worthwhile. From my phone to a worldwide screen, justice matters, know what I mean. True crime in a minute, come take a seat. Where style meets justice on every beat. Then one case caught my wandering mind. Record, didn't know what I do. 60 seconds, tell it clean. Every detail in between. Before I knew it, I wanted more. True crime in a minute.
I got to start it over. I messed it up. Sorry.
That's my lane, short and sharp, but the heart remains. Posted brave on YouTube Stories always left me
Sorry,
wanting
guys, I had to
more.
start that over.
Watch the Jews, couldn't look away. Unsolved mysteries almost every day. Murder, she wrote, Law and Order 2. Forensic files have me stuck like glue. Netflix crimes and courtroom scenes. Somewhere in between my dreams, I felt a spark, I couldn't let go. I wanted my own true crime show. True crime in a minute, yeah, that's my style. Tell the story fast, but make it worthwhile. From my phone to a worldwide screen, justice matters, know what I mean. True crime in a minute, come take a seat. Where style meets justice on every beat. Then one case caught my wandering mind. A law professor gone, justice left behind. Harvard grad with young boys at home. 2 shots rang out, now the dad is gone. I follow creators, learn the game. Love the chats, started knowing names. Said, why not toss my hat into? Hit record, didn't know what I do. 60 seconds, tell it clean. Every detail in between. Before I knew it, I wanted more. True crime in a minute, that's my lane. Short and sharp, but the heart remains. Posted brave on YouTube one night. Suddenly the channel took flight. True crime in a minute, community strong. Justice seekers singing along. Now people ask about my glasses, lipstick shades, and scarf tying classes. Funny thing you ought to know, by day I run sales, by night the crime show. Why can't people just divorce? Greed and ego change the course. Innocent children pay the price. Selfish choices roll the dice. We advocate, we investigate, we wait for justice. We won't hesitate. True crime in a minute, side by side. Truth and justice are our guide. From the chat to every screen, strong together, loud and seen. True crime in a minute, here I plead. One voice seeking accountability. Thank you all for riding with me till the truth brings victory. I'm Leslie B, justice seeker, story keeper, and we're still watching, waiting for justice.
Isn't that fun? So I did write a lot of it, but John really helped me out with the genre, and he changed some lyrics that just made it better. So and he made that graphic and everything for me. It was just amazing. So it was so fun. Yeah, forensic, exactly. Exactly. I know that it's late, so I can play a little bit. Did y'all see this lady that testified? The friend that she went to Albuquerque with? I can't remember her name. Allie, I think. And then while Corey's there, she writes a card and says that her mom had a gambling addiction, which I thought was interesting. I mean, who knows what to believe? Yeah, she does remind me of a model. I mean, this lady, yeah. Oh, thanks, Super Cindy. Yeah, she is. I mean, this lady, I was like, God, she looks like she should be on Vogue or Cosmopolitan, something like that. Oh, thanks, y'all. I really appreciate John's support. He's really good with that. Exhumed Whitney Houston. I'll play a few minutes of it and then we can wrap up.
Meet her.
I met her in, I think, junior high school.
Since junior high school, about how often do you see or speak with her?
I talk to her pretty frequently.
Are you one of her best friends?
Yes. Yeah. I was, yeah.
You were?
I am, yes.
Either way?
Yes.
Okay. Did you and Kouri Richins attend a Finding True Self retreat at the Sedona Mago Center for Wellbeing in Arizona in February of 2021?
Yes, we did.
Oh, yeah, he's going to introduce. This is the card I'm talking about. Michelle, I know. I thought Sade too when I saw her big earrings.
As part of that retreat, did each of you complete an assignment in which you wrote your life story in third person?
Yes, we did.
Scott, can I get Exhibit 2-4, please? Can you scroll through for the witness and counsel?
Isn't it, Kate? It is fun. Well, I'm going to tell y'all something really stupid. And y'all are going to be like, can't believe you didn't know that. So I just learned this when I was in jury duty. I mean, I've always heard them say this in court, you know, when they admit evidence or an exhibit. So when they publish it, that's when they show it to the jury. It's like I had this aha moment in jury duty because she was like, will you please publish that? And we had monitors in front of us and it would come up. I'm like, oh my God, that's what that means.
Ma'am, do you recognize that as the form that you and Kouri Richins filled out during the retreat?
Well, I never read it at the retreat, but that's the Sedona Manga logo, yes.
And is that Kouri Richins' handwriting?
Yes, to my knowledge.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit Exhibit 2-4 and publish.
Your Honor, we'd renew our prior objections, 401, 402, and 403. I'm not sure that there's enough foundation at this point to put it in through this witness. She said she never saw it at the time, and I don't know if there's enough foundation about the handwriting at this point.
Yeah, she does look like a model back in the day.
Did you know whether or not the business was in any financial distress?
No, I did not.
Ma'am, are you familiar with Josh Grossman?
Yes.
How so?
I knew that he was. What do you mean?
Do you know who Josh Grossman is?
Yes, I know of him, yes.
How do you know of him?
Corey told me about him.
What did Kouri say about him?
She said that they were having an affair.
And when did she tell you this?
It was about June 2020.
Did she tell you the status of that affair when she spoke to you in June 2020?
Could you clarify?
Was it ongoing at the time?
Yes, it was ongoing.
Did she ever tell you that the affair was broken off?
She did.
When did she tell you the affair was broken off?
My last visit prior to Eric passing, she told me that she'd ended things with Josh and chose her family. It had been over for about 9 months at that point.
And was that last visit you had with Eric Richens on the weekend of February the 20th, 2022?
Yes, I believe so.
And she said then that she had broken it off 9 months earlier.
Yes.
Your Honor, maybe we just approach briefly.
They've got
React to Eric Richens jokingly say that she tried to poison him on Valentine's Day.
She laughed about it. We were all laughing.
Did she say anything about what happened on
She
Valentine's?
said, no, that's not what happened, that he had, that it was an allergic reaction or something, or it wasn't that dramatic. It didn't happen like that. Something along those lines.
Did she say how it happened or what happened?
No, not that I can recall.
Just that it didn't happen as Eric jokingly said it happened.
No, but with Eric right there.
Sure. Eric's there the whole time.
Yes.
Understood.
Yeah, I agree. Did any of y'all watch the show White Lotus? That is like one of my favorite shows. But Kouri and this girl could be a character on that. You know how you see them all arriving for vacation and then you find out like all their deep, dark secrets?
Your Honor, I hate to keep doing this. I just want to bring up one other thing at the bench.
No, it's better.
Okay.
I want to know if this is true. Wait, I want to read this. So this is what Kouri wrote at this New Mexico, was it Albuquerque or Santa Fe or something retreat? She's supposed to write it in third person, so she kind of goes back and forth. Kouri was born in 1990 in Oklahoma. Her parents were married and worked for the same engineering company. They were both previously married with children. Her father had a daughter, Tanya, and her mother had a son and daughter, Renee and DJ. Together, Kouri's parents had Kouri and her brother, Ronnie. Ronnie and Kouri had to move a lot when they were kids. From 1990 to 1996, they lived in 17 different states due to their parents' work. Kouri's father was a successful engineer, but he was also an alcoholic and been most of his life. In 1996, he was drinking and driving and fell asleep at the wheel and ran over a cop who had another car pulled over the side of the road. He was put in prison for the next 6.5 years. Let's see. Kouri's mom, who today is her best friend, no commas, had never had her own addiction. She is a compulsive gambler. Once Kouri's father was put in prison, her mom then filed for divorce in 1998 and continued working full-time, rarely being home. Tanya, Kouri's daughter, was raised by her mom. DJ, Kouri's half-brother, lived with his father. However, Kouri's older sister helped Kouri's mother raise Kouri and Ronnie while their mom worked. Once Renee turned 18, she left and never had a relationship again with Kouri or Ronnie because she blames them and having to help raise them, destroying her life as a kid. In 2000, let's see. Sorry, I went a little too far. I don't know where I went. Anyway, Kouri had her first son in 2012, graduated college that same year. She then got married in 2013 because she told herself, when I get married, I'll be happy. In 2014, she had her second son because she told herself another baby will make me happy. See, she changes. Kouri then started graduate school in 2016 because that will fill this hole and make me happy, but it didn't. In 2017, she had her third son and her life spiraled downhill. She graduated from grad school in 2018. However, she also found out her husband had been having an emotional affair. Kouri went to counseling on and off because of anxiety, depression, this constant need to chase happiness, her emotionally. She is exhausted from years of hearing, your husband selfish, you're not enough, you need me, from her husband. I think that's where it kind of ended. Yeah, is this true about her dad?
Your Honor,
Does anyone know?
we've agreed that I'm going to handle this witness as a direct examination since she's here from out of town, so we don't have to bring her back.
Sounds good.
All right. I just clarifying. You're fine. Okay. Now, you said that you were visiting, and you're from California, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Or you're
I am.
living in California now.
Yes.
More, to be more accurate. And you were visiting here about a month, a little less than a month, 3 weeks before Eric died, correct? Or is that right?
Yes.
All right. And during that trip, you just talked about some things that happened during that trip when you were staying with the Richens. Did you take THC gummies with them at that time?
Oh God, the gummies.
Not on that trip. I didn't.
Not on that trip.
I don't believe so. No. No, Eric didn't want me to.
Why didn't Eric want you to? Do you know why?
Yes, he said that he.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you, without,
Sustained regarding calling for hearsay. Can you rephrase, Ms.
yes. All right.
Agree.
So you discussed taking gummies.
We did.
All right. And there was a concern about taking them. Is that fair?
Yes.
And why was there a concern about taking those?
Objection, Your Honor.
There is
Sustained.
something ominous about this lady.
Maybe just ask her why she didn't do something or what her concerns were.
All right. Why did you decide not to take the gummies?
I was told they were bad gummies. That they made Kouri super sick.
Okay. Particular person, isn't that right? You aware where those gummies came from?
No, I wasn't aware.
It sounds like Kouri made this up to tell her.
You had taken gummies, THC gummies, with the Richens in the past.
Yes.
And where originally, you don't have to tell me who, but where were those gummies purchased from?
Well,
I mean, they keep talking about the gummies. He didn't even have any THC in his system. It's so true, KCL.
I was never with him when he got him, but I knew it was from a.
Objection, Your Honor.
Foundation?
Foundation.
Okay.
All right.
Sustained.
You had taken gummies with the Richens in the past.
Yes.
And so had some of your other friends. It was something that you all did occasionally, just like having a drink. Fair?
Fair.
All right. And you are you aware of, well, let me rephrase that. Were you all getting these gummies from the same source originally?
Objection, Your Honor.
Pause for one moment. I need a reason.
Foundation.
Okay. Would you please Sustained, would you please lay some foundation for whether and to what extent this witness knows about the source of anything that she took?
Again, you were all getting gummies from the same source, right?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Yeah, I need you to lay some foundation, not
I'm
just
working
ask
on
the
it.
same question.
I'm working on it.
Just
See?
break it down.
Rude. Oh, that's.
Do you know where, are you aware, do you know where you and your friends were getting the THC gummies from?
It's a yes or no question.
Yes. You are aware? Okay. And for a time period, you were getting them from one particular person, isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the time period that you were getting them from that person?
What do you mean?
Like, was it from 2018 to 2021? Was it from, can you give me a general time for how long of a time?
Would you pause there for one moment? Your objection, Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, objection, foundation, particularly as it relates to whether or not hearsay is the foundation.
Right. Ms. Lewis, my apologies. Would you approach for 1 second?
I hope Kouri's pimple on her forehead is better tomorrow. It must suck. Like, you don't have zit cream in jail.
When Amy Richens came to the house?
Yes, I was.
All right. And were you there when Kouri was trying to get into a safe that belonged to Eric?
I was.
Do you know why Kouri was trying to get into the safe?
Excuse me, yes.
Why was she trying to get into the safe?
She wanted to see what his will said.
And did she know the will was in the safe, or do you not know?
No, she knew it was in there.
All right. And then what happened?
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, Was she able to get into the safe?
She was not. She didn't know the code.
And then was there a conversation about her not getting into the safe?
Objection, foundation as it relates to hearsay.
All right. Who was present when she was trying to get into the safe?
She wasn't even in there at first.
When you say she, who are you talking about?
Kouri wasn't even in there. It was
Who was in there at first?
her brother and the locksmith.
Okay, so a locksmith was called to try and open the safe.
Yes.
All right. And then what happened after that, Court?
Amy and Bryce were leaving, and Amy saw the logo on the side of the truck and ran into the garage to stop Kouri from getting into the safe.
Do you know why she was trying to stop Kouri from getting into the safe?
Because Amy was...
Foundation.
Yeah. It's speculation. How?
Well, if she knows why.
But how she knows is the genesis of the foundation and speculation objection.
You were there, correct?
I was.
And you saw the reactions as everyone in the room.
I did.
And you saw Kouri become very upset. Did you see Kouri become very upset?
I did.
Do you know why Kouri was upset?
Yeah, because she was told that it was not
Objection.
If you'd stop there, calls for hearsay. Sustained.
You did see Kouri's reaction.
I did.
To not being able to get into the safe. Let me rephrase that. You saw Kouri's reaction based on what was going on regarding the safe.
I mean, that was a devious look there. She's got that amber stone. I don't know. Something's off with this one. Somebody said voodoo. Look. Yeah, I kind of see it.
I did.
And you saw her, well, tell me, what was her reaction?
Pure frustration and rage.
Rage?
Yeah.
Was she crying?
Yes. She was shaking.
And in your opinion, was that reaction over the top?
No, I thought she was valid.
Did you think she was unreasonably out of control?
No.
Was that reaction unexpected, given what was going on in the room?
No.
Okay. Just one moment.
Yeah, they keep showing Amy Richens in the
I just have a moment.
the one that Kouri attacked.
I did forget something. Let's go back to what you were talking about with Mr. Bloodworth regarding the sandwich. So when you were there, you said that Eric said, what did Eric say to you again about the sandwich?
Can you clarify the question, please?
Yes, you were talking about when Eric got sick from a sandwich, right? You talked about that with Mr. Bloodworth.
I did.
And he told you, what did he tell you?
That he believed that Kouri had tried to poison him.
Okay. Did he tell you, I believe Kouri tried to poison me, or did he say to you, did Kouri tell you she tried to poison me?
No, he said, he said Kouri tried to poison him.
All right, and who was there? Kouri was there?
Yes.
And what was her response to that?
She was laughing and she said that's not what happened.
And what did happen?
I don't know what happened.
Well,
he took a bite of the sandwich and got an allergic reaction and had to shoot himself with an EpiPen.
Okay, so they talked about the
She's getting fidgety.
There was an allergic reaction.
Yes.
Was everyone laughing?
Yes, we were all laughing and we jokingly said, don't eat what Kouri feeds you.
Okay. And did Eric appear upset about what had happened prior with the sandwich?
No.
Did he seem scared about what had taken place?
No.
How are he and Kouri getting along when you were there that last visit?
They seemed better than I'd seen them in a long time.
Okay. And with that, I have nothing further.
Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, any additional questions for Ms. Staking?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Hmm.
Ma'am, let me make sure I understand the travel to Hawaii. Am I right that it was funny at the time because Kouri did not get caught with the gummies in her luggage, but it would have been less than funny if she had got caught? Is that the joke?
Speculation.
Overruled.
Could you ask that again?
You said they were, Eric and you and Kouri and everybody were joking about Eric putting weed gummies in Kouri Richins' luggage. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is the joke that it was funny because she didn't get caught?
No, it was funny because she didn't know.
Oh, see, he's clarifying all this because this is in the walk the dog letter, which is about to come in the next couple days.
I see. Okay. Can we turn to the gathering on March the 5th, 2022, right? The day after Eric Richens' death?
Okay.
And
so I just Googled, and there's no reports that Kouri's been assaulted or anything in the jail or been in a fight. But I see what y'all are talking about. I think she just was squeezing on it. That's my opinion, but I don't know.
And you and others, many friends of Eric, some of Eric's family members, I think were there, right?
Yes.
And people were drinking and toasting Eric.
Yes.
People were also using weed gummies that night too, as well.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
That photo you showed, or you looked at, it was labeled Exhibit 1089.
Hey, Emily.
That was at the beginning of the evening?
No, that was towards the end. It was I don't know. It was mid-evening.
Okay, there came a time, right, when Mr. Knudsen removed his pants?
Sorry, who?
Do you know who Bryce Knudsen is?
I know
in that photo?
Bryce. I don't know his last name.
Okay, did there come a time when he removed his pants at that celebration?
Not that I remember, but probably.
Okay. Do you remember if the photo was before or after that?
It was before he was dressed.
Is that not so weird that Bryce removed his pants at the celebration of life, which they were all doing shots and got drunk, which is bizarre to me?
Scott, can I get Exhibit 8-8, please?
I think the luggage thing is totally made up too.
The witness can see it.
So true, KCL. Kouri says Eric never took drugs, but now it's like, oh yeah, he was doing all this all the time. I agree, Audrey has stressed it.
Ma'am, do you recognize that photo or that video rather as an accurate depiction of what was occurring in parts of that evening?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state's going to move 8-8 into evidence, but ask the court not to publish it. What the state's going to do is prepare a vision of that blurs out the face of any children, and then publish that to the jury at a different time.
Ms. Lewis.
No objection.
Okay.
And then they get a whole notebook of all the evidence, which I learned recently.
The forthcoming version of 8-8
Yeah.
that blurs out any.
So that's the party pic. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but it's just them all like Bryce and Kouri, and they're all just like, you know, like they're at a party. Kathy, maybe he spilled beer on his pants. I don't know. I feel like they kind of act like it's a normal thing that Bryce takes his pants off. Yeah, that he never wears pants. It was so weird. I know. I've never heard of somebody taking their pants off. Now, if they're high, maybe. Bryce giving the nude salute. Yeah. Bryce was no true mate to Eric. Yeah, we don't know about the pants, but we all want to know. But thank y'all so much. It was fun to be back online tonight. I'll probably do like maybe a little brief something tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but thank y'all, and I hope you all have an awesome week, and I'll see y'all soon.
For riding with me till the truth brings victory.